Luka Doncic was whistled for a technical foul by referee JT Orr, his second of the game, causing him to be ejected. The Thunder finished the game on a 29-12 run to rout the Lakers. Luka says he was trash-talking with the courtside fan in the fourth quarter. The Lakers lost to OKC last night when an official thought Doncic's words were directed at him. Here's Luka postgame.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it that happened, but I never got a fan ejected, never. But if he's gonna talk, I'm gonna talk back like always. So that had nothing to do with the ref. So I didn't really understand. I mean, it was tough. I mean, we were right there. I think we fought the whole game. We were down 8 at halftime. We came back in the third quarter. We were fighting, man. So it was tough to see that with this kind of situation that happened. And that's on me too. So I can't let my team down like that.
Wendy, did Luka deserve this ejection?
Okay, it's an interesting way you phrased that question. I don't think he deserved this technical foul. I should point out the referees gave a comment to a pool reporter last night. It was not JT Orr, the referee, that ejected him. It was the crew chief, Tony Brothers, one of the most experienced crew chiefs, and Tony Brothers made it clear that technical was for cursing at the official. They didn't regard Luka's defense as that he was cursing at a fan. I believe Luka that he was cursing at the fan because I don't think there was even a foul on this play. I don't think it was something he would complain about, and he's always cursing at fans. The reason Luka got ejected from the game wasn't the mistake from the ref there. It was because he already had a technical foul for cursing out the same ref. And the referee was very happy to make sure he knew, I'm throwing you out. He got in that situation for the accumulation of technicals in the game. And the reason that the officials are quick to call technicals is because he's always cursing them out. So, was it unfair that he got this technical and was ejected from this game? I say yes. However, does he have to deal with that and earn it because of his reputation and the way he behaves? Yes. And it is unfortunate for the Lakers, who are still very much playing for something that I think it cost them this game. This was a 1-point game. They were ahead by a point on this basket. They crumbled after this. And Luka has a complaint, but he has blame as well.
Yeah, listen, you stole it right from me, Wendy. Number one, he had a technical earlier in the game. So I can't give you any benefit of that when you already had a technical. I know that Monica might say that too. Plus, I'm going to give you a big picture here. This is as a fan, he is impossible to root for. Oh. He constantly moans and groans at the end.
There's a whole city that would beg to differ.
Well,
you're saying
I understand, but I'm talking about the average fan who doesn't have any rooting interest. Oh, God, he's constantly moaning and groaning at the officials. Constantly carping at the officials. He's constantly looking for foul calls. What is he doing? He makes a big basket with 7 minutes to go, and he's yelling at whether it's JT or a fan. Go back and play defense. I mean, come on. I mean, on and on. It happens all the time with this guy. He's very hard to take. Yeah, you can't dispute that. You're telling me that he doesn't argue with the officials?
Monica, is there a little truth? Is there a little truth?
Come on,
of course, what he's saying compared to other players.
Molly, yes, but Mad Dog just put 500 on 5. Like, come on now. You act like this dude is at the end of the bench just yakking. You sound like the Mavericks organization when they made this trade. As if this dude has not have the caliber of athlete to be an MVP and take a team to the finals.
So in other words, then, because he's great, he's allowed to act like an idiot on the court?
I would love him to curb some of his enthusiasm in this regard. However, let's not play it like Luka not one of them ones in this league.
No, he's a great player. I love him. He's the third best player in the league. I'm not disputing that.
He's just impossible.
I said again, he's impossible. I didn't say he's not great.
I know.
He is very difficult to root for. Oh, he's constantly talking to the officials.
Wendy, have you heard this around the league at all? Any credence to this?
Well, again, I think it's word usage. I think at times he's hard to watch because he is constantly, always every play, and it can be a little bit dispiriting to watch. I think if he's on your team, you love him because and in a way, the way he embraces being the nemesis, the way he embraces being the enemy, he's sometimes risen to have his best moments when he's trying to settle a personal vendetta. That is enjoyable to watch. I'm not sure the word root is correct, but I agree. There are times when I watch him, when I see the complaining, I'm like, please, I can't take it. And so I understand what Mad Dog is saying. I think you can root for him if he's on your team.
He's halfway. So Monica and I are halfway on this.
You're so easily irked. It's absolutely.
Mad Dog's icks.
It's
Now remember,
unbelievable. Larry Bird.
to be fair,
Larry Bird, Bob Cousy.
Bird was impossible,
They would never
too.
do that.
Bird
All right,
was impossible,
I'm moving
too.
on, so quick
Go
word
ahead,
here.
you may continue.
All right, cool. Dun, dun, dun. Luka Doncic returns to Dallas tonight for the first time since being traded. Luka led the Mavericks to 3 playoff berths, including the NBA Finals last season. His 28.6 points per game with the franchise are the most in team history. Here's Luka and AD on how it will be to face their former teams. Emotional.
Of course, it's going to be a lot of emotion for me. Like, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how I'm going to feel, honestly. You know, I'm looking forward to being back in Dallas, obviously, you know, with the fans, seeing my teammates, ex-teammates. It's going to be very emotional for me, for sure.
It's another game. Y'all make it bigger than it needs to be. It's another game for me.
Okay. Well, earlier, Mad Dog told us Luka is impossible
Oh, he's tough.
to root
Monica
for.
didn't like that take.
I did not.
I'd like to ask Dallas about that. Did you see how they reacted after his
understand.
exit? All
I
right,
get
tell
it.
me this, Mad Dog. How intriguing is his return tonight?
I think it's intriguing to him and the city of Dallas. I don't think it resonates anywhere else. I think it's more intriguing when the guy who goes to the town gets booed because he wanted to get out in the worst way. Carmelo back to Denver. Durant to Oklahoma City. That's more interesting. In this particular case, everybody in Dallas hated the trade. They hated the idea that the franchise moving him, they couldn't stand it. A lot of the times it's better when Harden left Houston. He goes back, he gets booed out of the building, how he responds to that. Here they're going to be rooting for Luka, not rooting against him. And you like to see how the athlete handles it when he goes back to his town and he's the villain. Here he's the hero. So I'm not as wrapped up in it.
You sure everyone's going to be rooting for him?
Oh, absolutely.
There are still those crazy
Oh,
fans.
yes, they will root for him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Swagu, as a Laker fan, how do you feel about this?
Lakers fan and Dallas resident.
Of
Oh, look
course,
at that.
a bandwagon all day. That's
Hold
you,
on,
Swag.
hold on. I have no idea where Molly got that from. I am not a Lakers fan.
Oh.
I am a LeBron James fan, and whatever team he
I
played
didn't know it
for,
was
I
different.
want to see him have success.
Oh, so you used to be a Cavs fan.
Yeah, it's
My
very
bad.
different.
I apologize.
It's very different because when he was in Miami, I was a Miami fan of LeBron James. Listen, my
got it.
team is the Pelicans, by the way. So everybody just relax before
Okay.
you cast any aspersions on me.
Okay.
I'm from Louisiana.
Time out. I know what
New
just
Orleans
happened,
Pelicans.
Swagu. Swagu's concerned he's not going to get his courtside seats anymore with his wife
Yeah,
and
that's
kids.
exactly right.
He's like,
You
Molly,
called it.
why are you putting me on Front Street? Sorry I put you on blast.
No, I'm sort of a big deal here in Dallas. In case y'all don't know. All right, let me get to it, man.
Let him know, Swagu.
Here's the thing.
You got a fish fry flavor.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It's funny how you look at this because Mad Dog has a point about the fans not being mad. I go to what ownership and how this front office talked about Luka Doncic after the trade happened. It's funny, man, when you with somebody, how good they look, how great of a person they are, and then you decide to leave them, and they the worst person. They don't look good. They stink. Their clothes don't look as good as you talked about for the last 5 years. Okay, but people do, and that's what the Mavs did. I know it's a new ownership group. Luka Doncic should want to stick it to this new ownership group and the front office of the Dallas Mavs. I don't give a damn how he is going to be received by the fans. We love Luka here, all right? But ultimately, this was about how his front office and how the new ownership group in Dallas treated him. And not only treated him, talked about him after he was a Laker. So when he comes back into this building, it won't be about the fans. It won't be about the people that sit courtside that love Luka. It'll be about the people that are sitting courtside that are owners of the basketball team. It'll be about Nico talking about it was some things we didn't like about how Luka prepared for games and was he ready to play. And we'll all love this trade if the Dallas Mavericks have a tremendous amount of success. I love this type of drama for Luka Doncic. He should want to go for 50 and 20. And not to remind the fans of who he are, to remind the ownership group of what they decided to get rid of and cast away. And I pray to God he has one of those phenomenal epic nights. I don't care if the game don't mean all of that. I don't care if the Mavs got injuries and all of that. I hope he has an epic night where all of us can point to the ownership of the Mavs and say, this is what you decided to do, and this is what you're going to have to pay for years to come, thinking that you were putting together a championship team by getting rid of a franchise guy that actually had you in the finals 2 or 3 years ago.
Swagu, what's the brand your seasoning is with?
Oh, it's Swagu Special Louisiana Fish Fry.
You know what I'm saying? You cooking with that Swagu Special right now. You got that seasoning on this conversation, boy. We cooking with hot fish grease and the Swagu Special seasoning. Listen, I've been marinating on this question because we've had it all morning. Intriguing? The Lakers, the storyline is the Lakers need this victory because of how tight the Western Conference standings are, period, right? Beyond that, though, I actually, in the last half an hour as we've been marinating on this, I'm wondering if because of familiarity, y'all, just hear me out on the basketball thing,
okay,
if Dallas is one of the better equipped teams to guard Luka? Now, I got to get into the personnel after the trade and all of that. I don't know if that's true, but I'm with Swagu in that I expected Luka to have a good game. And then earlier today, Wendy brought up the emotions of it all based on the last time these two teams met. So then that got me thinking about Jason Kidd and them knowing Luka so well and how they might defend this. I'm now kind of thinking this game might be better than I anticipated because the Mavs are actually still trying to play for their seeding in that play-in situation, Molly. But I think that Luka getting ejected the other night should be locked in and focused. And of course, the emotions of it all, that being his original home, the first however many years of his NBA career also play into it. But I am wondering if Jason Kidd might have something up his sleeve to make this a little more interesting than maybe we thought.
Yeah, I would love to see, I like the guy going back to the arena where he wanted the heck out. And then how he responds to getting booed all night. And they boom, and he touches the ball. This is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's the issue I have with it. And you're right. The Mavericks look bad now because obviously he's going to be the feature of the Lakers for the next 15 years. And he sells tickets, and he's great. I mean, he's a great, great player.
But Swagu is right.
That's what I mean. The owners are going to get booed. But they're not booing the owner. He's not playing the game. The issue is Luka.
Did Wendy get in?
Wendy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't wait for Swagu's son to go to an SEC school that's not LSU and see how he tries to explain all his switching allegiances. When your son goes into Baton Rouge and drops 35 on him and you're wearing an LSU, I can't wait to see that. I'm going to be here for that. All right.
Wendy, that's completely different.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's completely different. Okay. All right. Anyway, the Mavericks have had this awkward season this year because remember, Klay Thompson early in the year had this return game to Golden State where everybody wore the captain's hat and they were trying to make everybody sound like everybody was happy when Klay wasn't because of the way they sent him out the door and he sort of had to have a forced smile. That was awkward. This is going to be awkward because Luka plays with an edge. Luka is at his best when he's screaming at somebody. That's what we love. Some of his best moments of his career have when he's gone into an arena and stuck the stake through the heart of the visiting fans that he personifies either through somebody on the bench or somebody in the front row. He's got a catalog throughout the whole NBA of fans that he yells at during the games. The guy that he was yelling at last night in Oklahoma City, he yelled at him last year in the playoffs and stuck the dagger in his heart when he beat the Thunder. Okay. I will say this. The game plan tonight will be interesting because Luka, I wish it was more than three-point shooting, but Luka's play for the Lakers has always come down to the three-point shooting. He's had three or four different games where he's been 1 of 7, a couple of games where he's 1 of 9, some games where he's 2 of 9, and he looks terrible. And other games where he goes 6 of 10, 7 of 12, and he puts up 35. So I wish it was more intrinsic, but I think this is going to come down as Luka hitting his threes tonight. Yeah, if he is, it's going to be memorable. If he's not, it's going to be forgettable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm with Swagu. I hope he drops 15,
Real familiar
20.
with them rims.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, go crazy, Luka.
Let's get to who you are a fan of. I have been corrected. LeBron James. Him and Luka have played 21 games together, and the Lakers currently hold the number 3 seed in the West. LeBron has won NBA titles with former and current All-Stars such as Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and is making a push, obviously, with Doncic to win his 5th NBA title. Wendy? Is Luka LeBron's most skilled teammate ever?
So right there you have best, and then you just ask skilled. These are two different questions.
Okay.
If we're going to go with that word right there, skilled, I don't think it's a debate. I think it's Kyrie Irving. He's one of the most skilled players we've ever seen in the history of the NBA. The stuff that this guy can do with the ball is one of one. And so when you see how look, all you need to know is that when they needed the basket in 2016, the ball went to Kyrie in an ISO, and he made this very creative and slick escape dribble to get away from Steph Curry and put that three up. As far as skill, you can debate about Dwayne Wade's ability in the clutch, some of the stuff that Luka can do. Even Chris Bosh, in a way, was incredibly talented, made things happen. Skilled, Kyrie, end of story.
Yeah, I don't look at it from a skill perspective, but I look at it best, and this is his best player. Wade was great, don't get me wrong. I mean, I agree with you about Kyrie and a lot of things you said, and Anthony Davis too. He's the best. He's his best player. I mean, this guy, he's only, plus the fact, look at his age.
You mean the guy that's impossible to root for?
I can't root for him. That's different. I mean, I can root for him, but he does drive me nuts. But he is the best player. I mean, he's physical. He's best offensively, at least. Defensively, he's terrible, but offensively, he's their best player. He's a bad defensive player. Offensively, he's their best player. He's LeBron's best teammate. I mean, look what he can do. He makes big shots. He handles the ball. He's a point guard. He's better than Wade. Wade's great, but he's better than Wade. And at the end of the day, he's going to be better than Wade. He's better than Anthony Davis, and I love Irving. I don't love him all the time off the court, but I love Irving, and I know how great he is, and he won that championship. But I'm going to put Luka ahead of him, too, so I'll say it's him.
All right, so we're playing spelling bee, if you will, in terms of swapping out the words, if I may. I agree skilled. If we go skilled, Kyrie, we lock them.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to switch not best but dominant. And I really think that we are sleeping on Dwayne Wade in this conversation. Because if people want to go look at where Dwayne Wade was in his career when LeBron got to Miami, having already gotten a chip down in Miami alongside Shaq, I also think you can't have this conversation without looking at where LeBron James is currently in his career. Now, granted, still an incredible scorer, still an all-around guy. But I don't know that if LeBron James in Miami would have been able to play alongside Luka, because at that point, he was still a centerpiece, needed the ball, was not telling somebody else to fit out, if we all remember that initial conversation with Luka. So to me, I'm still leaning D-Wade. And I know folks will go, defensively maybe we'll give you that, and people still take gripes with that. But if we're just talking about, if we're gonna sit back, fast forward however many years, and we're just looking at all of these careers and not necessarily the pairing at the time, I still think it's going to be D-Wade.
Yeah, but I think where he was in his career is a great point.
Right, but you got to see where LeBron is right now as well.
Of course. Go ahead, Swag.
But we got the semantics of skilled and best, and Wendy, it's no question, it's Kyrie when it comes to skill. I want to go to best as well, and it's Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade up until this point. Now, it may end up being Luka, which I have to see more, and Luka has been a phenomenal player from the start of the time he got in the league to right now. Dwayne Wade was a champion before LeBron James showed up. In one of the greatest finals by an individual I've ever seen in my life. I was personally there when he was ripping the Mavs a new one in Dallas, going absolutely ballistic on that basketball team. Who was... No, I wasn't. I was actually rooting for no one. It was a great series.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Wendy, a funny story about that. Wendy. I used to go to Jason Terry. He used to host a father-daughter ball. And I became a big Jason Terry fan, and I love JT. And that's why I started going to Mavs games. And the atmosphere was electric because Mark Cuban was the owner. So I did become very fond of the Dallas Mavericks like I am now.
Very fond.
But it's Dwayne Wade. Back to the original conversation, Brian.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them going, try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. NBA over here, feeling fun.